In the previous video, we learned how to deal with the JSON data stream that comes from Flickr. It's now time to use the feed to build out our page. So we'll begin by building out our stream of images. So I'm going to go down here to my function. I'll go ahead and add some spaces down here. And after this, I'm going to start by setting up our output variable, setting it up to nothing. And then from there, we're going to begin by using a for loop that will allow us to go through all of the items in our stream from Flickr. We'll set a variable called I to go from 0 to the data items length and increment it. And if we take a look at the element right here, so I'm right clicking and then selecting inspect element, I'm going to come over here and go to the console and take a look at our object. So as you can see, we're checking the length of this items array, which is what has all of our photos. And then after that, we're going to create a variable called title to hold the title of the photo. And that's going to be equal to data, items, and then the index here, and then the title. So when you open one of these up, you can see that the title is right here, and it's inside each object. Then after that, we're going to try to get the location of the image. We can create a link variable. The variable is going to hold data items, then the index. And then we're trying to get that from the media object. So the media object is right here. If we open up the media object, you can see that there's a variable called M. So we'll target M. But there's a problem with this link right here. So let's open that up. So if you take a look at this link, you'll notice that it ends up in something called m.jpg. Now that is a specific version of the image that has a size. So if we go to this URL, you could get any image location by using that URL plus any of these suffixes at the end. So if we wanted to get a 75 by 75 pixel image, we would use an S instead of that M. You can see here the M is 240 pixels on the longest side. I want to use right now an image size called Q that's a square 150 by 150 pixels. But this page is going to tell you what the sizes are supposed to be. Let's go ahead and go back into our application here. So what I want to do is not just get M, but get a substring of M. And the starting position is going to be 0 because it's going to get the link from the beginning. And the ending position is going to be 56. So that'll get us all the way, if we look at this over here, until right before this underscore m.jpg. And then we can put whatever we want instead of m.jpg. So back in here, we need to set a variable for our block type. And this block type variable is what's going to allow us to columnize each of the images coming in from the Flickr feed. So what we're going to do is perform a modulus function on the index and compare it to the number 3. We want 3 columns. So if we take the index and we compare it to 3, then it's going to give us the remainder of the index divided by 3. If it's on the first column, the remainder is going to be 0. If it's on the second column, the remainder is going to be 1. If it's on the third column, the remainder is going to be 2. So let's do that right now. The index modulus 3. If it's 2, then we're going to set the block type variable to be C, or the third column. And then we'll do the same thing, but we'll do if the remainder is 1, then it'll get the B. And these actually should be colon, colon. Otherwise, it's just going to get A as the value here. Now we'll set up our output. And the first thing I want to do is create a div. The class is going to be the class column ID. And in here, I want to put in UI hyphen block and then hyphen, and then one of these letters here, A, B, or C. I will pass it along the block type. After that, we want to put the link to the image. And the source is going to be our new variable called link. And then after the link, put in underscore in whichever version of the image we want. So we said we wanted the Q version of the image, q.jpg. And for the alt, we'll give it the title. Now we need to close out our div. And I'm going to put a comment here and here. And over here, I need to just send the output to the right div. So I'm going to use jQuery to send the output. And we want to send the output to our photo list. So let me go ahead and close this over here. And I'll save this, come over here and refresh. Click on the photos. So our stream of images is coming in from Flickr. It doesn't yet look good, but we're going to fix that with CSS in the next movie. And we're also going to make these images clickable to a big version of the photo.